What's up, ninjas? Before we get into this video here, I do want to remind you that we still have a couple days left. It does end at the end of the month to keep voting to get the ninja army up to rank 1. We are so close. We've given away 5 beta keys for Hearthstone so far. Tons of stuff to be given away, especially if we hit number 1 there, and all of you will be entered in. So good luck, guys, and hopefully we can hit it. We're so close. 26,000 ninjas in the ninja army. No reason why we can't hit this. Got a couple days left. Let's make it happen. What's up, my ninjas? Shinobi here with a Hearthstone video for you. Today we're looking at the annoying Outlast Priest deck that I've come up with here. I decided that I saw a lot of decks. They were there's aggro in the game and there's control in the game, just like there is in a lot of TCGs out there. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a deck that could just outlast any deck, and priests are the best class for that. As you can see here, we're starting off with a coin and a double Northshire Cleric, which is a pretty optimal play. Very tough for the hunter to take care of this. He'd have to wait till turn 4 to use a coin. Use his multi-shot to kill both of them, but hopefully by then I can put some other things in play to kind of deter that. This isn't really going to be about me showing you, an optimal gameplay or something like that. This is just a gameplay in the background, just showing you the strength of this deck. And the thing about this deck that I think I enjoy the most is that players will concede to you just even if they have 20 health, 25 health. I think the highest health I've seen someone concede to me at was about 28. We were halfway through the game. I had him completely controlled, completely locked. He was just top decking where I have like 10 cards in my hand and a bunch of minions in play, and I'm just stealing all of his minions away from him, killing off all the other ones, mind controlling things away from him, drawing cards like crazy, healing like crazy. It's very difficult for pretty much any deck out there to deal with a deck like this. The only decks that I think that have a chance against this deck are the really, really aggressive decks, and if I don't draw like early game Holy Nova or something like that, or just early game removal in general, then it's really just going to kind of bite you in the butt there. But having these Northshire Clerics here, you can see that I'm going to throw a heal on one of them in just a second, get to draw 2 cards, and you'll see that I'm actually drawing so many cards and having so much of a card advantage against my opponent here that he just gives up and leaves, because that's how insane this deck can be. I can't even cast things fast enough for the way that I'm drawing cards. And it's not just that as well too. It's not really the draw advantage that gives this deck such a huge powerhouse. It's that there's a lot of removal in there, a lot of cards that take things away from your opponents, just a lot of really good aspects to this deck. And unfortunately my 5-2 here is going to get melted once again, but that's okay. I was pretty sure it was an explosive trap. That's why I kept healing up my guys before I did go in for an attack, but there was nothing I could do about the 5-2. He was going to die. I don't play that card in the deck that buffs your minion like 2 defense, and then I don't know, it's not really the card for me in this deck. After this clip you will see that I explain all the cards in the deck, why I put them in the deck, and why this deck is just so strong. There are so many great cards in this deck that it really you can pretty much handle almost any situation. You'll see right here that I'm just going to handle the situation so well, to the point that I'm going to draw too many cards and have too much of a card advantage here. You can just see, here we go, we're drawing all these cards, and now I draw 2 more. I drew 4 cards right there, and I actually lost 2 cards because of that, because I just couldn't play things quick enough. I have such an advantage over my opponent that my only enemy in this fight here is myself. So pretty soon you're going to see him just rage quit and leave, and that's just how it is. I mean, I've had people lock down with this deck, and I still had 30 health, and we were like halfway through the game, and he was at 25 health, but he was just so locked down and couldn't do anything. And I just kept stealing his minions and killing off his stuff, just like I do right there. I kill that off as well. And then silence right here so that I can get it low enough to be able to kill it with my Shadow Word Pain. And now it's gone. Just how great this deck can really be when everything comes together, and the draw advantage of that. I mean, you can see just the huge advantage that I have over him right now. He's at 14 life. He's just trying to put things in play. He's just trying to make things happen. And even if he does make something happen, like put a big minion in play. I can still mind control it away from him. It's just like right here, you'll see Savannah high main. He's like, okay, maybe I got a chance now. Okay, here we go, I got a chance. So then it goes back to my turn, and it's my 8th turn, and here comes mind control. Take that away from him. And then I'm going to use my priest here to draw another card by killing off his other guy. I mean, the card advantage is just ridiculous. I believe he does actually kill the high main here, but then I get a couple 2/2s off of that. And I mean, he really stands no chance in this match here. I mean, there's almost nothing he can do that can come back and win the game now. There's almost nothing. I mean, multi-shot would be a nice card to have, but I mean, I have such an advantage that, you know, even if you had multi-shot and a lot more removal, I still have a huge card advantage on him. But that's the deck right there. A little bit of interesting game. I have some other interesting footage for it that I'll show you in the future, but let's go ahead and get into the deck list now, and here we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the deck here and show you exactly what goes in it. So I mean, you may not have seen every card in the demonstration there, or how those cards are utilized. I mean, if I made multiple videos, then you'd be able to see, but not in every game you're going to see every single card utilized fully, seeing as how I did just smash that hunter there, and had full control. So let's get into why I use certain cards in the deck, and you know, what separates this deck from just a normal priest deck. There are some cards in here that I don't see some priests using, but you know, most of them are pretty you know, pretty much come with the priest deck normally. But let's talk about, let's just work down the thing here. So first off, we have Silence, which in itself doesn't look like that great of a card. I mean, you're not going to use it. It's not going to be utilized all the time. And it's a 0 casting cost card, which makes it nice because then you can actually, if you need to free up room in your hand because you're drawing so much, you can use that. And I mean, in a worst case scenario, I think Silence would be a bad card if you were relying on top decking and you drew this, but then you could also silence something and kill it off. Well, Silence actually works both ways. You can silence a buff or you can silence a debuff, which is also really cool. So you could actually, it benefits you in that way. I have used Silence a lot of times to actually be able to win. I mean, it's nice if something gets buffed up, you can silence it just so it gets low enough and you can Holy Nova everything. It helps, it really does. But I may take it out. I don't know. I'm still kind of working out deck. Holy Smite, just something you need here, just to, you know, especially if you Holy Nova something. Say you have 6 mana and there's like a 4/4 in play and a bunch of 2/2s. You can Holy Smite that guy, doing 2 to him, and then you can Holy Smite that guy, then you could, you know, Holy Nova everything else and kill everything on the board. So it does help out in those situations, and also very good early game, especially if someone puts down, you know, some very crucial cards early game. You can actually really help. It works in the mirror match as well too, because you can say you have a cleric and he has a cleric and you attack him, and then you could just Holy Smite, kill it off, and then, you know, heal your guy, and that way, you know, you win the cleric fight there. So it does work out in lots of little cases. Light Warden, I really like this card because, well, first off, you need more 1-drops. You need to be able to put some stuff in play early game. You have some cards that you can do that with, but Light Warden can get really out of hand if it's not taken care of, because you're healing every turn, and that attack stacks every single turn that you're healing, and even if your opponent's healing too, it's still going to get that attack. So whenever a character is healed, it could be a minion, could be you gets 2 attack, and it can get crazy. I've gotten one of these up to 10, 12 attack before pretty quickly, and really take over the game. So it helps out with some early aggression and kind of slowing down your opponent too. Northshire Cleric, just, I mean, if you played Hearthstone, you know this is just a card that you need. It's just so good. It can give you that draw advantage, and as you saw in the clip, it was pretty ridiculous. Then we also had Shadow Word Pain here. You need removal. The whole point of this deck is to be annoying and outlast your opponent. Keep removing stuff. If you get these in your opening hand, definitely a good choice, because that's when you're going to see those 3 or less attack minions. You also have Lightwell. which is very good. I mean, it can get a turn 1 light well. It really slows down your opponent, because even if he's playing a fast aggro deck, unless he kills a light well, you're just going to be healing for the damage that he's pretty much going to be doing to you. And, you know, it also goes good with a lot of other stuff like Light Warden and Cleric and such and so forth. Shadow Word Death is amazing. You can kill those big minions that really give you a hard time if you haven't got to the point where you get Mind Control yet, or, you know, you can't destroy it or something, or maybe you want a Holy Nova, but there's still that one big one that's still left over. That's going to take care of it. You have Acolyte of Pain. Now, I'm still kind of iffy on this card. It has actually worked out quite well for me. In a worst case scenario, you're usually going to draw at least one card off of this, because if, say, there's a 4/4 in play and, you know, he attacks your Acolyte of Pain, sure, he's going to die. You're going to do 1 damage to that 4/4, and you're also going to draw a card, and then you may be able to take out that 4/4 with the card that you drew. So there's ways that, I mean, it can be nice, but it's mainly just a card that helps you get more draw advantage and help you make it better to get to the late game. Then we have Mind Games. Now, I only have 1 in the deck because I only have 1, but I really like this card. I mean, theoretically, you could play this on turn 4 or turn 3 with a coin and get a Deathwing, and then just destroy someone, or Ragnaros or something like that. It's always just fun. I think it's just a fun card, and in some cases you do get some pretty crappy cards, but it's definitely fun. And then we also have Shadow Madness here, another control card here. We have gain control of an enemy 3 or less. It's so perfect when he has 2 3/3s in play, and then you just grab one of them and then kill off the other one. It's a 2-for-1, nice value from the card. Definitely very awesome in a lot of situations. And it can help you, say he has a Taunter in play and you don't have your Silence or something, you can just grab the Taunter, pull it out of the way, attack with the rest of your guys and finish them off. I mean, definitely a great card. I mean, any priest deck should be using it. Holy Nova, I mean, goes without saying, amazing card. Then we have Faces. Now, the reason I went with this card here, because it's gold, and when you copy something, you get to see what all the cards that are in the game that are gold, which is mainly the reason I did it. But it's also nice because it also, you know, it kind of works in the sense of a mind control, where you can copy another big thing. It's kind of like an extra mind control, but you know, you get one, and he still has his own minion. But you know, and it can be utilized in a lot of ways too. Like I'm going to show you some stuff in just a second here. We have the Holy Fire, dealing 5 damage and restoring health. Actually a really good card. It can be used as removal, can be used to finish off your opponent. Could be used, I mean, when you use this on your opponent, you're pretty much separating the life distance by 10 life, which is essentially like saying 6 for 10 damage in an outlasting fight anyways. That's kind of how it is. I wouldn't play this early game. I'd save it for some removal, but then if you can finish off your opponent and have lethal damage, then go for it. Then we have the Cabal Shadow Priest. Now, very good card. More control, just taking their minions away from them. So frustrating when this thing comes into play, because you know, maybe have a taunt guy or something like that. I take your taunt guy, and then I just start swinging with everything else. And you know, it can be such a good card. And the fact that it's a 4/5 as well too, definitely really good. Now, Sunwalkers, we do have 2 of these here. One golden. This card is a very annoying card to get rid of. Probably one of the biggest weaknesses to this card would be Silence, but I mean, Taunt, Divine Shields, a 4/5 for 6. I mean, it can usually, most of the time, buy you at least 1 or 2 turns to get you back into the game. It's very difficult to get rid of. Another thing that could have a hard time with would be something like Polymorph, or Hex, or you also have other things like that. Silence could hurt it as well too, like, you know, but I mean, generally this card is really going to help you out in a lot of situations, and most of the time it does good, more than, you know, actually people have. A Deadly Shot could be another thing too that could really mess this up. And then finally you have Mind Control. You need that as well. Very, very clutch card. Just really puts the nail into the coffin on your opponent, and I mean, it's just a really good card. I mean, a lot of times, the reason why Mind Control is so good in a priest deck, or in general, is because when players get playing against a priest deck, it's kind of this battle of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and and you know, you're just trying to, you know, keep some minions alive, and you know, because I have so much removal on the deck that you're like, okay, finally he has no removal left, I'm just gonna play this big thing, and maybe this will help me come back and win, and then I go mind control and then you lose, you know, and that's just how it goes. So but yeah, definitely check it out, guys. You can hit pause on the video here and just, you know, hold this up on your other monitor or something and just, you know, copy the same exact deck. The cards are not that difficult to get. If I could change anything in the deck, I would try and grab this guy here, Prophet. Definitely a good card. Damage, double the damage and healing of your spells, and hero power. So I mean, obviously it just makes your deck better. I mean, that's just pretty much it. But I don't have the dust for this right now, but in the meantime, that's pretty much the deck, guys, and I hope you did enjoy it. And yeah, anyways, give it a try. It's very good. I've won so much with this deck, and I'm just gonna play a lot more and win a lot more. Anyways, my name's Shinobi. Until next time, thanks for watching.